Internet dwellers, and welcome back to Top Shelf Disney Animation Studios Library, where each episode we watch a movie from the very specific library of films animated by the Disney Animation Studios, starting with Snow White and catching all the way up to the most recent, at least as of recording this episode, Moana. I am your host for this bonus episode, TCD Wit. Jeff has a week off, recovering from our rewatch of Beauty and the Beast. It actually marked, this is a fun fact, it actually marked the 5,000th time that Jeff watched Beauty and the Beast. And Disney got wind of that, and they showed up, and they whisked him away on an all-expense-paid vacation to a poor provincial town in France where everyone speaks English. He'll fit right in. It's fine. Well, we'll be back to our regular schedule. And the first film in our fourth set of movies, Aladdin. If you want to catch up on episodes you might have missed, you can check out everything we've done so far on YouTube, Stitcher, Google Play, or ghosthat.net, where all the episodes are right there for your enjoyment with fun little posters and whatnot. But we don't want to leave you hanging this week, so today I am once again trying a solo bonus episode where I will be answering your questions and your comments and messages and tweets and telegrams and just conversations I've had with people off mic. So yeah, wish me luck. I am once again recording this live, and I appreciate. I'm surprised. Maybe it went over well the last time I did this, but I have a lot of questions and comments to discuss, so I will try to get to them all. I'm not going to make this too long. No one needs to listen to just me alone for an hour. No, I probably could talk for an hour straight, but let's just see what we cover here. So thank you everyone who commented and tweeted and whatnot. You can tweet at me at TC's Big Head, or if you comment on the Facebook page, where we post every week when we're about to record and when the episodes go up, and you can comment there. And since we've been doing this, we are 30 episodes deep. There are a bunch of questions and tweets that we never got to, mostly because a lot of the tweets and whatnot come in after we've recorded. And also just hitting up some of the comments that we never got around to. So I'm just going to thumb through the threads here and see what... Thumb through? Yeah, I guess if I was using my mobile, I'd be thumbing. Oh, anyway. I will be hitting up all the questions now. So first one that I have here is from our good friend at Dig Dig Hi Ho. Great start, TC. You're doing amazing. Dig Hi Ho. Hi ho, hi ho, hi. Which dwarf would make the best point of view character in a redux of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs? Now, Doc, maybe. I suppose Doc is the leader of the group, so he would, having some sort of a memoir of his time living with Snow White, would probably be the best. He could offer insight onto all the characters. Not that I think Snow White needs a complex look at the dwarves themselves, but because they all have such distinct personalities, it might be interesting to see the through the lens of the dwarves. I have said it before. I think if any of us live to see it, that the 100th Disney animated film will be Snow White. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was the first, and they only were able to accomplish what we saw on screen. There was a whole bunch of ideas just tossed out by Walt himself, and I think the best way to honor what started it all would be when you hit that centennial film, that 100th film, that's going back and doing another Snow White. I'm anyone who's listened to this or my other podcast, The Rewatchman, knows I have feelings about remakes and reboots, but I don't think all of them are a bad idea, and that would be my pitch for a 100th film for the Disney animation. No, that didn't exactly answer your character. Doc probably would be the character to Bilbo Baggins the whole story, right? He's the leader, so there you go. Moving on, I have a comment here. Oh, shoot, I forgot to write. Who wrote this one now? Thoughts on the Tim Burton Dumbo remake? Orphan elephant, big ears, can fly. Boom, there you go. What are we going to explore here? So my thoughts on the Dumbo remake, which I have made apparent over the course of this podcast series, is no thanks. Moving on, Aaron, again on our Facebook page. And this is from Bambi. Oh, this is cute. I had never seen Bambi all the way through until I watched it after listening to your cast. Oh my God. Bambi's mom dies. Okay, I'm still quoting here. I know that's like the most famous death ever, but I'd never seen the scene before. I thought she was just gone suddenly. My dad had always skipped the chapter on the DVD. Oh my God. I called him up and yelled at him for sheltering me. That's hilarious. And then a couple frowny face emojis. So I actually have a friend, my friend Cliff. I visited him. This is quite a few years ago. His little daughter was obsessed with Bambi. She would watch it 5 times a day, but he always skipped over the dark chapters in the middle there. So he went from grazing in the field with his mom, experiencing the autumn and into the winter, and then once winter was not a part of this girl's memory. I don't know if she's gone back and watched it, but much like you, Aaron, she may go back and see it and be very shocked to discover that is a very sad scene. It is such a pop cultural thing. It's a touchstone in I feel like it's a pretty well known thing that happens, that Bambi's mom dies. But I'm glad you finally got around to seeing the whole thing, and I'm sorry that your dad sheltered you like that. But I'm sure that was a rather fun experience for you as the movie's playing out. You probably had a nice memory of it, and all of a sudden, what is happening? There's something rather amusing about watching people witness something, entertainment-wise. Obviously, to see something in the realm of film or television and whatnot, and knowing what's going to happen, and then seeing how people are going, oh, what? Baby's mom? Oh my God! Oh my God! That's fun. So there you go, Aaron. Thank you for listening. On to our Fantasia episode. Sarah, another Sarah. Did I have a Sarah earlier? I don't think it's the same Sarah. Baglioni. Oh boy, I just butchered your name. Sarah with an H. I'm in my early 30s, and I grew up watching our VHS of Fantasia, but to this day, I still can't watch the dinosaur segment. The moment of the T-Rex fighting, then killing the poor Stegosaurus literally makes me cry. Ugh, heartbreaking, to crying emojis. I used to have to skip that section as well. There's a question coming up later that I saw earlier about the horrifying images, or the scary images, in the Disney library, and man, that fight is brutal. It goes to something that Jeff and I have discussed previously on the show, that there's a difference between kids movies and family movies. When kids movies are perfectly great. Like, you can watch the Sesame Street, or the Muppet, not the Muppet film, the Sesame Street films with Elmo, and those are specifically geared towards children. Kids movies. They are cutesy and often educational and simplistic in their entertainment. They're kids movies, right? Family movies are for the whole family. Pixar's the end all be all perfect example of this, and certainly many films in the Disney animation library here there's something for everyone, and the better that is mixed together, the more successful a film. If you look at something like Beauty and the Beast or Little Mermaid, there's something for the adults, there's something for the kids, there's something for everyone in between. But then if you look at something like Oliver and Company, that leans far too much towards appeasing parents, or trying to capture who is that movie for, right? But with Fantasia, I'm just gonna stop bashing on Oliver and Company. For Fantasia, it's an experience, and it's an odd movie as well, in that it comes after Bambi and Snow White and Pinocchio, which are on their surface more kid-friendly films. They're more kid films than adult films, but Fantasia is so much more complex of a film. It's got such deeper ideas. It's much more ambitious in that it's not a narrative. It's just it's a performance. It's a you're watching the symphony for the night, and that's not exactly kid friendly. Even looking at something like The Sorcerer's Apprentice in there, that's still kind of got some scary elements to it. Or I think the most kid friendly thing in the whole of Fantasia would be the hippos and the alligators and the ostriches and the elephants doing the ballet. That's probably the most kid friendly thing in the whole of Fantasia. The rest of it is very not kid friendly. And when you look at something like that, the dinosaur segment where the T-Rex kills the Stegosaurus is kind of it's frightening. You're not wrong. Even now, even when we rewatched it, I was impressed by the gravity of emotion that is happening in that scene, and then watching the dinosaurs slowly go extinct. So I don't blame you, Sarah, for for not being able to watch that scene, because yes, I agree. It's the way his head flaps and then it flaps again. That poor Stegosaurus. But hey, T-Rex has got to eat too, right? All right, so moving on, comment on our Saludos Amigos, and it's on Three Caballeros, but it's about Saludos Amigos and Three Caballeros. Saludos Amigos and Three Caballeros are such strange movies with live-action footage. Why do they count in the library, but movies like Song of the South and Mary Poppins do not? Very fair question. This is something that we addressed real quickly when we decided on this specific library of films, because there are a number of Disney movies with animation that don't fall into this very specific studio label. And Disney themselves created this canon, this canonical library. Not in canon that they're all connected, but that it's these specific entries into this specific library. And something like Mary Poppins and Song of the South are live action movies that have animated pieces to it. Song of the South is not an animated film. It just has, when Uncle Remus tells the stories of Brer Rabbit and Brer Bear, Brer Fox, those are the animated sequences. But I don't know what the percentage is off the top of my head, but it's not an animated film with some live action. With Saludos Amigos and Three Caballeros, they count because Disney counts them. We didn't make this list. We didn't make the decision that they would go on there. But yeah, there are those odd movies in this animation library that have live action in them and not just animation. The Dinosaur, which we're going to be hitting, I think, in this coming set of films, the fourth set of 10, has live action plates with CG animation over it. We'll discuss that when we get there, but that is an odd thing. Something that happened very in the modern era of animation is the movie Happy Feet won the Best Animated Film Oscar over Pixar. I can't remember which Pixar it is off the top of my head, but Pixar was very upset with that because Happy Feet utilized motion capture technology. All the dancing, Savion Glover dancing as the main character, and all the dance sequences that take place in Happy Feet are motion capture. And Pixar animates everything from scratch. They don't use rotoscoping. They don't use motion capturing. In fact, after that happened, Pixar will put at the end of every one of their, except WALL-E, because WALL-E does have Fred Willard in it, and some clips from Hello Dolly. But aside from that, all the Pixar movies will specifically state in the one of the last things that rolls through the credits is that every frame of this film was drawn, was created. No motion capture techniques or shortcuts, as I believe they call it, were used in the creation of this film, quote unquote, the Pixar film in question, whatever Pixar film you might be watching. Trying to maintain an element of classic animation when the classic animation where everything was completely hand-drawn was not necessarily how they kicked things off, because Snow White utilized rotoscoping where they filmed live-action performances and then had the animators animate cells over Snow White, the prince, and I believe the queen as well. The dwarves were all created from scratch, I suppose is the easiest way to say it. But yeah, rotoscoping was a technique used throughout animation. We still see elements of that in the films we've watched of recently, but there's a lot of determination from animators to create wholly original pieces, and it's a constant debate. What it's also a debate similar to, well, computer animation has replaced hand-drawn animation. Is that the same? It's just an ever-evolving monster of filmmaking. So with the live action in Saludos Amigos and Three Caballeros, that was strange. Not as strange as, I believe it's Fun and Fancy Free with Mickey and the Giant and it's Bongo in that one, but it's got the ventriloquist dummies. Oh, I know Jeff was all excited because he loves the old school Abbott Costello era entertainers, but that creepy Goosebumps dummies. Bah. that was an interesting use of live action elements in there. But I think come to think of it, a couple of the package films did utilize some live action elements as well. But for my part, I'm with you. It is strange that they do count within this, and I am all for straight up animation. I don't want to see live action elements. All right, so moving on. Oh, and speaking of Fun and Fancy Free, Jessica Swenson. Hello, Jessica. Thank you for listening. She commented and says, I have to agree that Mickey is not one of my favorite characters, and I've personally never understood his allure. To me, he's forced upon me. Yeah, he's kind of the everyman, but really I find the challenges he faces are not as difficult to overcome as other characters. You know that Mickey will always, always, always win. He suffers very little loss. His challenges are fluffy in comparison to others. So Mickey is a bit entitled and whiny. I can appreciate that he's the face of Disney and is absolutely iconic. I get that completely, but whenever his character's on the screen, I'm frustrated at how easy everything is for him. I completely agree with you, Jessica. Mickey comes with no stakes, and it's tough to really invest yourself in a character that you know is going to be completely fine. It's like something like Kermit in some of the Muppet films. They do a good job in Kermit is portraying a character in the Muppet films, as well, not the most recent Muppet movie, or well, the Muppets Most Wanted, not that one, the one before that, the Jason Segel one. He's playing Kermit the Frog, right? But the previous Muppet films, and I'm using Kermit as an example because he is the face of the Muppets, and in previous films, he's always portraying a character in the film so that you can have stakes in the adventure that's going to play out. It's Jim Henson, and you know that they're going to walk a certain line, so there's not anything terribly tragic in the horizon for any of these characters. But with Mickey, you're right. He's a very sheltered character. He is the iconic symbol, and Walt went out of his way to continuously try to keep Mickey as the face of Disney. It's Sorcerer's Apprentice was originally designed to be dopey, and Walt was like, you know what? No, we need Mickey. Mickey should be up front. But it is hard to pick. It is hard to root for the guy, in so much as you know everything's going to be fine. That's just storytelling technique in general. If you know a character is going to be fine, how do you create weight in what you're watching, right? And there's nothing wrong with the simple entertainment of that a character is going to get through it, right? It's just what are your expectations in watching a film, and then you can accept the adventure that they go on. A series of unfortunate events for a character, and I mean that in general, not the show Lemony Snicket. I mean, a series of events for a character can be just as entertaining as anything. Look at something like, I mean, I'll tap into old school, like Jeff might appreciate, but the Three Stooges. You know exactly what you're going to get with the Three Stooges. They have a different profession. They're going to go through the motions. Abbott and Costello, they're going to be different professions. They're going to go through their adventure. You know, it's just a matter of watching them go through their adventure. And that's fine. But the better stories for me are when, yes, I know these characters are going to be okay. So how do you tell me a story? Sorry, gathering my thoughts here on the fly. Prequels. Prequel films to me don't work more often than they do work. And a good example of that is, we'll just use the original prequels, right? You can look at the Star Wars Episode 1, 2, and 3. Do I really need to see this? Was this a story anyone really wanted? We know where all these characters are going to end up. So how enjoyable is it going to be to see them get from here to here to here, especially when it's so heavy-handed? A great thing to come out of the Star Wars prequels is the Clone Wars series and Rebels, because though we are following, well, particularly in Clone Wars, we are following characters we know. We know the history of, we know they're going to make it out fine. Okay. Watching that unravel for Anakin and his journey to becoming Darth Vader, it's compelling. But the best episodes of the Clone Wars are the episodes not about Obi-Wan and Anakin or Sidious or Dooku. The best episodes are about the clones. There's a group of clones that we see over the course of the series that, well, you don't know what happens to these characters. And by not knowing that, even though you understand how the universe is going to go, you know how this story has to end for a lot of these characters, inserting characters you don't know or you don't have all the facts about, that makes for more compelling and engaging and nail-biting circumstances. Mickey's great, Mickey's cute, Mickey's fine, Mickey's boring. I will always be amused by the early Steamboat Willie era Mickey stuff, but the more the face of the company he became, the less enjoyable he became to watch. I'll take Goofy, I'll take Donald, I'll even take Pluto, because puppies are fun. All right, so at Joel I'm gonna get it's Joel and then your name backwards. So it's Jolioge. Joel. Would you want rodent and bird helpers like Cinderella? There's a great scene in Enchanted. That's a Disney film with Amy Adams, where she plays, I think, Princess Giselle, where she comes to the real world, but she brings her animated Disney trope mentality. And then she cleans Patrick Dempsey's apartment with rats and birds, and it's real rats and birds, so it's like disgusting, but at the same time they're doing what all the animated Disney rodents and birds do. So yeah, I mean, if they were as sentient and intelligent as the rodents and birds in Cinderella, heck yeah, I want some. Hey guys, I will hook you up with little miniature clothes, I will feed you when you need the food, but can you want to get the lawn for me today? You want to help me fold this laundry? Yeah, who wouldn't want a bunch of helper friends who are willing to would you want some rodents? And okay, do they come with their diseases? Okay, like Cinderella, they're like Cinderella. I'm taking that to mean that they are as lovable and as cute and not disgusting as the Cinderella rodents and birds. So yes, I would. All right, so Brandon, on our Alice in Wonderland episode, you guys were really hard on Alice in Wonderland. Have you reconsidered it from a different point of view? Do you really dislike it that much? No. Yes, we were. I think I was more difficult on it, I think I was harder on Alice in Wonderland than Jeff was. And it could be I often say what we bring into a viewing of a movie will affect our review of it. That's just goes without saying. But if I had a rough week leading up to watching it, so I just don't think I was in the mood. So have I reconsidered it from a different point of view? Yes. I really genuinely appreciate the animation in that film. It is so clean and well realized. The characterization of all the characters in that film is so expertly handled, and it's the definitive Alice in Wonderland. There is no better version of Alice in Wonderland than the Disney one. So some might argue with me that, but I defy you to find a better one. The Tim Burton one certainly isn't. The BBC one is weird, kind of gross. Not in like an inappropriate way, but just because it's just a little too real. No, the Alice in Wonderland, the Disney animated one, is the definitive one. So Brandon, yes, I have reconsidered it, and I do genuinely like it. I'll leave it wherever rank I have it in. It's the definitive Alice in Wonderland. There is zero doubt about that in my mind. All right, so Wyatt, you asked on Sleeping Beauty. The theory I have is actually a question. What is Maleficent? Is she a fairy? Is she a demon? Does she have connections to Cernabog Fantasia? Or is she an evil fairy godmother? I can't remember if we answered this in the episode, but what is she? She's a dark fairy in that world, and does she have connections to Cernabog? No. Maybe. Jeff and I were we were discussing which of the movies are connected in a similar universe. So, for example, in the more recent movies, Frozen and Tangled and Tarzan and Little Mermaid have all been connected through various Easter eggs. Belle shows up in, I believe, Hunchback of Notre Dame is just like a character in the background. But then Belle, okay, yes. So Belle shows up in Hunchback of Notre Dame, which would connect those two, but she reads Sleeping Beauty. She's aware of fairy tales, so she's separate from those other universes, I guess. Is Maleficent connected to Cernabog? No, but we will get a connection to Cernabog and Bambi in a future film. Hopefully I remember to come back to that when we get to it. But I do like the idea that Maleficent would go toe to toe with the fairy godmother or the blue fairy, which reminds me we need to do an updated Wizards duel because we have a whole mess of magic users coming up in the next set of films. Maleficent beat out in the last one, but I don't know yet. Like Ursula, Triton, Jafar's coming up. There's a lot more magic users coming down the pipe that I should make a new bracket system for that. So keep an eye out on that. I'll keep you posted on that. So. All right, so John Klein says, you claimed Lady and the Tramp's spaghetti moment is the most pop culturally significant Disney moment. I would argue that Pinocchio's nose or hi-ho is more significant. Very, very fair point. I pointed out the noodle moments in Lady and the Tramp as the most well-known. It's so ingrained in pop culture. There's people who've never seen Lady and the Tramp that know that. So I felt like that was pretty important to the zeitgeist. But John's arguing here that Pinocchio's nose growing or hi-ho are more significant because, I mean, how many of us go to work? How many people say hi-ho all the time? Hi-ho, it's off to work I go. Yeah, I'll give you that one. And Pinocchio's nose growing, Disney made that famous in the film. But Pinocchio's nose, I believe, did grow in the original book, so that might just be bringing it to people's attention, not so much popularizing it. They didn't coin it, but they popularized it, I suppose would be. Yeah, I think just in general, that's just the influence of Disney. There are so many things we just know as a culture because of Disney, and not just Disney. There's plenty of memes in our reality that we know just by. So Here a little definition, little fun with words time. The word meme comes from the study of memetics. If you are ever wondering what the word meme comes from, it comes from memetics. Memetics is the study of, what is it? It's the study of ideas that spread like viruses, right? So something that spreads and becomes so known by everyone that you forget where it came from is and trying to trace the origin of that. That's memetics. Is trying to find the origin and trace trends and things that are popular. And the meme goes hand in hand with Kermit the Frog drinking his champagne and Willy Wonka or Michael Jackson eating the popcorn. That's what you think of when you think of memes. But memes can go so far as the spaghetti noodle moment in Lady and the Tramp. You eat spaghetti, you think of that. That's just part of it, whether you've seen Lady and the Tramp or not. So there are more than a fair share of things from these Disney movies that are so significant to just our culture. But I will stand by my Lady and the Tramp spaghetti moments because I just feel like so many people know that without ever having seen the movie or even the moment itself. So, but I'm curious if anybody, actually I probably should have said this ages ago throughout the course of this recording, feel free to disagree with me, feel free to comment what you think about, just to say, hey, this is what I think about this, what's the most pop culturally significant moment. But you can send it my way, Twitter or on the Facebook page where I will post this episode. So over at Twitter again, at Shady Your Mouth, Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Okay, shut your mouth. Okay. I know you're against sequels, but what about the Arthur legend as a trilogy? Yes. I said this on the Sword and the Stone episode. Yes, I think that there was, and actually it goes back to that letter I wrote Disney when I was in 6th grade, which was, why don't you tell more stories about the Arthur legend? They only told the first book. And maybe someone else asked this, a reboot or a remake of the Arthur legend would be, you know what? How about this? Okay, sorry. Okay, here's an idea for another Sword in the Stone series. Oh boy, this is both a good idea and a bad idea. Bear with me. I just popped in my head. They could do a movie with Merlin. Merlin has the ability to travel through time and space. He's essentially Doctor Who of the Disney animated universe. You could use him to travel and connect all the movies, right? You don't. I mean, hell. Kingdom Hearts connects all the Disney movies through portals and whatnot. Merlin could do that at a snap of his finger. You want to go over here? Boom, let's go over here. You want to go over here? Boom, you want to go over here? Go visit this, go visit that. I mean, him and Genie could hang out. Or you know what? Okay, here's the idea. Merlin and Arthur traveling through the Disney time and space in a medieval Rick and Morty Doctor Who-esque series. I would watch that as a series of shorts. Not just not as graphic and rated R as Rick and Morty, but there you go. So I am not against sequels. I do think there's more to explore with Merlin and Arthur, but is that the idea? I don't know. What do you guys think? What would we call that? Merlin and Arthur and Art and Merlin. # Art and Merlin. There we go. Rick and Morty, Art and Merlin. Plus, you bring Archimedes along for some comic relief as well. There you go. Scarlet Starkey asks one question. Although there's been quite a few bad Disney sequels, so this actually goes hand in hand with what was just asked. Are there any you wouldn't mind watching for this series? I do have a soft spot for, and someone else had mentioned this a couple episodes ago, Aladdin 3, because Robin Williams came back. Dan Castellaneta did the voice of Genie in the second Aladdin movie, and he did it for the cartoon series as well. But Robin Williams actually came back for Genie in the third Aladdin, and if only for more Robin Williams, not to tip my hand for how I feel about Aladdin in general, since that's next week's episode, Yeah, I would like to watch, maybe as a bonus episode. I don't know. We could watch some of these sequel movies, but The Lion King 2, because I know so many people who love The Lion King 2. I had never seen The Lion King 2. I remember a friend had a Disney trivia game, like a Disney animation trivia game. This was probably like 10 years ago. And I was all excited because I know me some Disney. I'm going to do great at this game. And like every other freaking question was about Lion King 2 of all movies. It must have just been come out and been popular or something, but it was driving me nuts that every freaking question is like, Kubo, is that his name? Kubo? The Scars kid feels this. And nah, I want to watch that movie to see if it actually is good as what so many people like to think. It could be like a some of these movies we've gone back to and been like, ooh, like Oliver and Company. This isn't as good as people think it is. So of the sequel films, yeah, really not the sequel films, but the some of the movies we're not watching, like Goofy movie. I love the Goofy movie, and I would, if only it was part of this library of films. Maybe that's a bonus episode for you guys that I could do on my own. All right, now we have a comment from our Jungle Book episode from Nick Collins, is on Facebook. Jeff, I can save Jungle Book for you. This goes really well with what we've just been talking about. Jeff, this is for you. This is from Nick. He says, what about team-up crossover films? Bongo and Baloo traveling the country wilderness. And then he lists two more, but first, so Bongo the bear, who's the circus bear who gets lost, or who jumps off his train, goes into the wilderness, and Baloo, who obviously is the jungle bum. Baloo and Bongo traveling the countryside together. Jeff, a road movie in the style of Bob Hope and Bing Crosby, Baloo the bear and Bongo the bear. There you go. Then you will like Baloo, and then you will like the Jungle Book. All from Nick Collins. There you go, Nick. Thank you. But he did mention two other team up movies: Belle and Ariel exploring Lara Croft style. So I don't know. Does that mean they become adventuring archaeologist explorers? I think I'd watch that. Ariel does not know the world. Belle does know the world but hasn't seen it. So a Belle and Ariel adventure, like Indiana Jones, Lara Croft exploring the world. Oh yeah, I'm down for that crossover film. And then the other one he has is this one's good: Dodger and Pongo as the odd couple. Yeah. So Dodger from Oliver and Company, who is just a slimeball con man, and Pongo, who is now you'd have to. I wonder if you'd have to place this before Pongo is married, right? So it's single Pongo. Pongo's just cool. He's a nice guy. I don't think that falls into the odd couple of Felix and Oscar like you're saying here, Nick, but they are an odd couple to match up. Really, I think if you had... Oh, there you go. It's a in the style of Family Matters, 101 Dalmatians, family sitcom. Dodger is the annoying neighbor who comes over like, hey, Mr. P, how's it going? Mr. Pongo, what's going on? And he's the bad influence on the kids. There you go. Thank you, Nick. All right, so here's what we got, folks. We got a Merlin and Arthur, Rick and Morty style time and space adventure. We got a Bongo and Baloo, Bing Crosby style road movies. We got Ariel and Belle exploring like Indiana Jones, and a Pongo, 101 Dalmatians sitcom with the ridiculous neighbor Dodger. There you go. Was there another one on there? I can't remember. Oh, and also there's a siren going by right now that I'm not going to be able to edit out. Yay for crime. Yeah. All right, so moving back over to Twitter, we have @SteelOfMan. Clever, like it. What is the most forgettable movie that we've watched in the library so far? Mine is Aristocats. That was Steel of Man says Aristocat. What is the most forgettable? If I take the package movies out of the equation, I think Aristocats might be it. Yep, you are right. It's gonna be Aristocats. Aristocats is the most forgettable of the movies, at least in my opinion. I'm agreeing with you, Steel Man. some of those package movies would probably qualify as well, from Saludos Amigos, Three Caballeros, all the way up to Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad, just because they are a series of shorts. There's too much and also not enough to those. But in terms of the full-blown motion, like complete film stories, it would be, yeah, Aristocats. That is the most forgettable one, huh? Yeah, Aristocats, good one. How about you guys out there? Feel free to comment. What do you feel are the most forgettable? Not the worst ones. I'm not going to say it's the worst of the movies. I'm just going to say it's the most forgettable of the movies. Sticking with over at Twitter. Fluffy McPuppy Pants, one of our tweeters, started really early in the series. He's the one who came up with the Wizards Duel, and yes, he's asking for an update on that. That seals it. I will get a new bracket up for our Wizards Duel to find out. God, I want this video game, people. Somebody out there. I'm just going to keep putting it out there into the cosmic consciousness. I want a Street Fighter versus Capcom style, or a Marvel versus Capcom style Wizards Duel side-scrolling fighting game. Give it to me. And Fluffy McPuppy Pants. I keep saying Poopy Pants. Thank you for your tweet that initiated the Wizards Duel. Let's see. Thomas, favorite song from each of the three brackets. Oh man. I should have looked at this one. I don't think I can do this off the top of my head. Favorite song. Part of Your World. Hands down. Just kicks it as a song. God, that song's so good. Just chatting with other friends of musical theater background of the Disney Animated Library, the songs. Part of Your World comes up again and again for people's favorite songs. Belle is the best exposition song. I Want to Be Like You from Jungle Book that's pretty good too. Of the classics, I'd say Once Upon a Dream from Sleeping Beauty. I know you, I walked with you once upon a... And of course, got to go old school here. The When You Wish Upon a Star is a beautiful song. And it's funny, interesting. I was just looking at the lyrics for When You Wish Upon a Star for another project, and when you wish upon a star, it makes no difference who you are. When you wish upon a star, your dreams come true. That is such a beautiful sentiment. Doesn't matter who you are. If you dream, if you wish, if you try. You know what? I'm gonna go Part of Your World. There's just such a momentum and a build and a passion to that song, sung beautifully by Jody. That's Ashman Menken. It's just the top of the game of Disney songs up to this point. TBD on the rest of the library there. So that's off the cuff. If I had seen this one before I had started, I would have made a list, but I'm going to go with that just off the top of my head. Roberts from the Facebook page. I truly enjoyed Robin Hood. I'd never seen it before watching it with you guys, and I loved the Zootopia connection. Would you want more movies set in an all-animal universe? I guess this goes with the conversation we were having earlier. Yes. What? You know what? Yes. Why not? I want one more. I want one more of the Robin Hood Zootopia universe at some other time period. Oh shoot, you know what? We're going to get that. I'm getting what I'm asking for, and I'm not going to like it. There's another movie coming. Oh no. There's another movie coming down the line that fits this mold of the all animal films. Okay. Yeah, I do want it and I don't want it. I do want it if it was up to me to pick some other era, that because you got the swashbuckling era of Robin Hood, you got the modern era of Zootopia, somewhere in the middle there. It'd be cool to see something in the all animal universe. Good question, Robert. Thanks for listening. Here's a comment from looks like Stacy T. Thank you for the Winnie the Pooh episode. It has been a really crappy week. Personal issues, and after listening to you guys, I went and watched the movie, and I was just so happy at the end. I had never considered how sweet the movie is. So kind and heartwarming. I've watched it 3 times since, just playing in the background while I work around the house. I have already jumped ahead to the sequel, and it makes me smile and smile. I don't know if it's my favorite with a U. You're British or Australian. You have a U in your favorite movie, but I don't know if it's my favorite movie of the lot. Jeff, it's Sleeping Beauty, smiley. Or no, it's Beauty. Sorry, Jeff, it's Beauty and the Beast, smiley face. But it's one of the most perfect to watch and feel happy movies. I love the show, subscribed and loving it, and also yes, Jeff. Jeff, do more Gaston voice. That makes me smile for a different reason. Winky face. I don't know what that means. There you go, Jeff. The fans are demanding more Gaston voice. Don't overdo it. I think you should just tease it with them every now and then. Because that's like the third person to compliment Jeff on his Gaston voice. And actually, there's a comment coming up about that as well. So, but Stacy, I'm glad you found some enjoyment with Winnie the Pooh, and I can really appreciate having a movie, like an uplifting movie you can just pop on and put a smile on your face. And I'm happy that we sent you in that direction, because I don't know if you'd ever even considered watching it before, but that's great. Well, actually, you said you never considered it, just how good the movie is, or sweet the movie is. So you're very welcome. I'm glad you found enjoyment in it. Let's go over to Twitter. A man called Jane, good name, Firefly reference. I say there isn't enough rescuers. Chip and Dale proved people want rodent heroes for at least 65 episodes. I have not gone back and rewatched Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. I've gone back and watched Gummy Bears, Gargoyles, Darkwing Duck, and DuckTales in the past couple of years. Gummy Bears, I don't know if it holds up. Interestingly, a lot of those episodes are only like 10 minutes long. Gargoyles held up wonderfully. DuckTales held up spectacularly. That show is still amazing. And Darkwing Duck as well has a lot of fun to it, although it could be just that I watched a lower resolution version of it. But I haven't gone back and watched Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, so I don't know if people demanded the 65 episodes or if that's just as long as they could go before it was canceled. I'm curious what would have happened had Rescuers Down Under been more successful, if we would have continued to get more Rescuer movies. So Jane, man called Jane from Twitter, I ask you, what would you do? Would you do a TV series, or would you do more movies for the Rescuers? From our Fox and the Hound episode, Cecily wrote, "Wow, you guys sure picked the week to talk." Oh boy, yeah, we did. You guys sure picked the week to talk about Fox and the Hound. Do you find it difficult to set aside what's happening in the real world when you watch films each week? I don't think I would have been impacted as strongly by Todd and Copper's relationship if it hadn't come up in the library the week that it did. So incredibly powerful and poignant, and I almost think it's the most poignant of the 30 films you've watched so far. No other film had as much to say about the world. You've done some interesting deep dives with the package films and 101 Dalmatians, but Fox and the Hound is incredibly powerful. Yeah, that came at just the right time, or the wrong time. It came at a very interesting time for us to discuss the content of that film. And you make a very fair point there about the poignancy of that movie. There isn't another one, at least in the 30 we've watched so far, that has as much to say as Fox and the Hound. I'm trying to think right now as I'm talking. You're right. That movie really struck a chord in its rewatching it, and myself rewatching it. Obviously struck a chord with Jeff. It maintained its number one slot until Beauty and the Beast, which was going to be hard to beat anyway. It is tough sometimes to separate. It's like I was saying with the Alice in Wonderland episode. It is tough to. It's a little difficult to separate personal, just the everyday life from the viewing experience. We do our best. I think Jeff and I do our best to separate our reality from our reviews, but it's hard not to sometimes. And Fox and the Hound was definitely an occasion of that. It really did come in a bad week for this country, after a series of bad weeks for this country, and Yeah. There isn't a more poignant movie in terms of what it has to say about relationships and society and the world than Fox and the Hound. Um, yeah, thank you, Cecily. I'm glad that you could appreciate what the conversation we had about it and the movie itself. So yeah, tip of the hat to you. All right, over at Twitter, at Turks Baby. I love some of these. Some of these names are so good. At Turks Baby, TC and Jeff this is the one I was talking about before. TC and Jeff have officially been cast in a Gurgi and Gaston film coming this winter. Oh, Gurgi, I'm Gaston. Yes, LeFou. Yes, Gurgi. I wish Jeff was here to do his Gaston, but I think it's because Gurgi sounds so damn close to Smeagol that I was able to just do that and get the and get the voice. But a Gurgi and Gaston movie, nobody wants that. Even if you were gonna hire me and Jeff to do the voices, which I'm not saying no to, because that would be a hell of a lot of fun. What would a Gurgi and Gaston movie even be? I suppose with the magic of Beauty and the Beast universe, the Black Cauldron could exist in the same universe as Beauty and the Beast. So, oh boy, Gaston teaming up with Gurgi in the Black Cauldron universe. There might be something there. Okay, we are conceptualizing shows. That's what this whole episode is about. This whole bonus episode is all about conceptualizing new spin-offs and reboots, and the Gurgi and Gaston movie that Jeff and I will be voicing. I look forward to seeing what happens. All right, that's enough of that. Okay, I got it. At my fedora. Great Mouse Detective. Great Mouse Detective. Seriously, that movie was balls, guys. Hashtag not so great. Hashtag Badzel. Okay, so you're not a fan. You're not a fan of Great Mouse Detective. So your opinion's valid. That I understand. I can understand why people wouldn't like the Great Mouse Detective, but myself being such a fan of Sherlock Holmes, particularly the Benedict Cumberbatch version, the Great Mouse Detective feels like the G-rated version of that show, that you could show someone the Great Mouse Detective and then let them grow up a little bit, and then you could show them Sherlock. I don't think there's any stretch of the imagination there. But I'm sorry, Fedora, that you disagreed, but thank you for listening. From our Oliver & Company episode, Terry says, thanks for ruining Oliver & Company for me. I loved that movie since I was 6, and because I hadn't seen it in over a decade, I decided to watch it after you two trashed it, and wow, just freaking wow, did I remember this movie being so much better. So thanks a lot. Now all I can love about it is my orange tabby Oliver, named after the title character, my love for Joey Lawrence, he was the voice of Oliver, my Chihuahua Tito, and why should I worry? Frowny face, frowny face, frowny face. Hey, I'm sorry that we ruined the movie for you, but we didn't make it. We just brought it to your attention. So Terry, I'm so sorry. I hope you can continue to love that Billy Joel song and the Huey Lewis song that opens up the movie. Show some love for the man, Huey. And you do have your Joey Lawrence Teen Beat cover posters. I'm sure you can have those too. But yeah, I maybe I have an axe to grind against Katzenberg, but I feel like we have not seen. That is the most Katzenberg influence we saw in a film was Oliver and Company. And that movie just doesn't work, and I'm sorry we ruined it for you, but I'm also glad because now you know the truth. The truth shall set you free. Now, when someone asks you your favorite Disney movie, you won't say Oliver and Company and get dirty looks. You can say something else. Hopefully, something better. Back to Twitter at Dan E. Yes, Little Mermaid for the win. I am so happy that this movie held up. That's the difference between Oliver and Company, which does not hold up, and something like Little Mermaid, which more than holds up. I made it my number one. I was just so genuinely surprised at how much that movie held up. Here we go. So Thomas asks, top 5 arbitrary number or your choice characters of the first 30. What are my favorite characters of the first 30? Okay, I did give this a little bit of thought earlier. Another freaking cop car is driving by. Jiminy Cricket, Merlin, Scuttle from Little Mermaid, Robin Hood, and Captain Hook. There would be my 5 of the first 30 films. Those are those are all dudes. I'm sorry. That's my guy showing right there. Well, that sounds inappropriate. Don't hashtag guy showing. Jiminy Cricket for being the conscience, Merlin for being the wild-haired Doc Brown, Scuttle for being the wackiness that he is, Robin Hood for being the hero he is, and Hook for being one of the best villains and sympathetic. Even though he does murder a guy the first time we see him, I just feel bad that he is just lost. He's just lost his mind. All right, so let's go over to Wyatt, who has asked, of all the non-princess heroines supporting characters. Oh, this helps. I just named 5 guy characters, so this will give me an opportunity to name some females. Which would be your favorites? Okay, so non-princess heroine supporting characters. Who would be your favorite? Oh, okay, so Wyatt says, I think I know who TC would pick, but I could be wrong. My pick would either be Alice, Wendy, or Miss Bianca. Perhaps I just love charming but aloof British people in media. I don't know. Non-princess heroines. Okay, that's a tough one. Non-princess heroines. Okay, so Belle became one, so she doesn't count. I do really appreciate how booky she is. I think it's probably who you thought I was going to say, Miss Bianca. She's just so classy. Penny is a cute little hero as well. Very proactive, as we mentioned in Rescuers. I'm a sucker for the Brits too, but yeah, I'm going to say Miss Bianca. She's just a best overall female, and specifically in the Rescuers. Not so much the Rescuers Down Under, because she was relegated to the prize, and it was more Bernard's movie. But in that first one, she's such a proactive, empowered, capable, kind, classy woman. She's a mouse, yes, I know. But yeah, Miss Bianca, I think, would be the best non-princess supporting character. All right, so next question here from the Facebook page. Disney, within 50 years, has shown villains that are on both sides of the spectrum, from truly sinister demons to aloof witches to sperm whales, to a sperm whale. Of these types of villain, which do you prefer? I personally go for the darker ones like Coachman, Maleficent, Cinderbog, and the Evil Queen. While they are only one-note villains, I really like they're so mysterious. It causes the viewers to not only watch the film, but also use their imaginations to fill in the gaps. That was from Wyatt. Villains. I like villains who drive the plot. So McLeach, though Rescuers Down Under might not be the best film, he's a cool villain because he genuinely drives the plot forward. Cruella de Vil's similar to that. Madame Medusa's similar to that. But yeah, there's something about those forces of nature characters, like Maleficent and the Coachman. Yes, thank you for reminding the world of the Coachman from Pinocchio being this devil of a character, like literally transforms into a devil at one point. Cool villains there, and he's easy to forget. But I like the ones with layers. I picked Captain Hook just a bit earlier. We talked about Gaston as this amazingly developed villain in Beauty and the Beast. There's just way more about them than a lot of the other villains, even if it's only subtextual. Like, Hook is just so pathetic. He has been driven mad, insane by Peter Pan. He's just completely lost his marbles, and there's something great about that. He's designed really well. He moves well, but just him as a character, I feel bad for the guy. And he's got a cool gimmick with his sword fighting in his hook hand, his namesake. Ratigan. Ratigan's kind of a cool villain too. You know what? Ratigan is he's the Hans Gruber of the Disney animation villains. Think about this. He fancies himself a sophisticated mouse, but he's just a thieving, stinking rat, right? Isn't that Hans Gruber? Like, Ratigan's the diehard villain of, whatever, maybe not. That makes him a bit more interesting, but those characters are far more interesting than someone like Cinderella's stepmother, who is like, what's her deal, right? I mean, Cinderella's dad married her. I mean, how good of a guy could he have been if he couldn't see how evil she was? Well, okay, anyway. Evan from Facebook asks, if you had to make a supercut, okay, so I alluded to this earlier. If you had to make a supercut of Disney moments for a Halloween marathon, like what the Disney Channel used to do in the 80s, what would you include? What are the scariest Halloween-esque moments of the day? Well, Fantasia has a bunch, but particularly Bald Mountain leading the way. I'd say Maleficent's fight with Philip in Sleeping Beauty has got some pretty scary imagery. There's definitely imagery from Black Cauldron with the skeletons and the Horned King, blah, like zombies practically. What else? Gaston attacking the Beast is pretty messed up. Essentially, are we trying to create a supercut to give kids nightmares to not like Disney movies? Then we got it. The things that Ursula turns the other mermaids into. Those creepy little like. Those are kind of frightening. The coachman being the devil is kind of scary. The rat from Lady and the Tramp is kind of creepy when it attacks the baby during the thunderstorm. Oh, geez, the Headless Horseman from Ichabod and Mr. Toad. I can even remember, and this might be what you're thinking of, that supercut of on the Disney Channel. I remember that the horseman throwing the pumpkin head being used in commercial spots around the Halloween season. Going further, that Evan also says, apparently Disney released a movie called Musicland in the 50s that was basically the non-boring bits of Make Mine Music, Melody Time, packaged together with no filler. How does that collection stack up against the ones you've reviewed? It's the best, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I haven't seen this, but just based on, you have your list of what's in here, like All the Cats Join In, Blame It on the Samba, Casey the Band. Yeah. Taking the best of all those package films, that makes the best package film. Just get rid of the ones that don't work, get rid of the ones that don't have have any fun to them, package that all together, and you have the ultimate package film. Well, if that exists out there that people can watch, that's what I would point to. I'd say, hey, watch this. You don't, unless you're a diehard, you don't have to watch all the packaged movies. Just watch this one. Good tip, though. I'll have to check that one out. Wyatt's, once again, another Wyatt question here, which is fine because you guys have given me ample amount to talk about, so I'm happy to keep babbling if you're happy to keep listening. If there was any film that you would want to see a straightforward adaptation of the fairy, folktale, or novel, what would it be? I think Little Mermaid would be a good way, would be as good the way Hans Christian Andersen conceived it, but I love the Disney version as much. A lot of those original versions are dark. I've said on my 1 Minute Rewatch, the YouTube show that I do, that back when a lot of these fables and fairy tales came out, it was easier to tell people not to be dicks when stepsisters got their eyes pecked out or crickets got stepped on. But we don't need to put the fear in people anymore. Fairy tales and folklores are entertainment now. Whereas in their original conception, Hans Christian Andersen and the Brothers Grimm, and a lot of these classic stories were parables. They were used as lessons. They were used to educate, and we don't need that anymore. We need most of the stuff is made for fun first. Although maybe we could use a little more thunder and fear now and then. But I think that's something that Pixar thrives at. Or if you look at like Zootopia, having something to say, or Fox and the Hound, if we want to stick with the library we've watched so far. I think as far as adaptations go, Sword in the Stone, or Oliver and Company. Shoot, they missed a huge opportunity. We said this on our episode. They missed a huge opportunity by not adapting Oliver Twist into Cats and Dogs. Like if they'd just done that, the movie probably would have been a huge hit. If they should have just stuck closer to the source material. Yeah. Well, guys, I have actually managed to answer every question and tweet that I had at the time of this recording. Thank you so much. This went a lot longer than I thought. If you actually made it to the end here, thank you for listening. This went smoother than last time. I didn't feel as nervous about it. Thank you for listening. Let's do a quick plug here. So if you are listening to this, wherever you're listening to this, please subscribe, like, share, comment. Help us keep the lights on, and let us know that we're doing a good job. We appreciate you guys listening. We're having a lot of fun making the show. I want to do a quick plug for Lindsay and Colin's Top Shelf Oscars, where they are watching the Best Picture winners from all the Oscars in the 80-year history of the Academy Awards. They have been working their way backwards. So I want to do a quick plug for the Technophiles Let's Plays that I've been doing with Dave Geisler over on YouTube. You search Technophiles. It's also linked on the page here. David Geisler's been great. It's been a lot of fun doing those with him. And it helps as a good supplemental material for you guys to stay entertained over the course of the week. Jeff and I are working on some other ideas for other bonus materials for you all. Like I said, this was not as difficult this time to do this, but I would never want to do this regularly. My throat is very dry at this point. It's nice to have a conversation with people instead of just talking at a computer screen and a microphone. I love you guys, but I need human interaction. I got the cat here. And the cat's gone. I'm alone. Such is life. Jeff and I will be back next week. Oh, you know what? Before, I want to plug one more thing because I don't think Jeff promotes it enough. Go to ghosthat.net. Check out Jeff's most recent short, Upstairs. Perfect for the October Halloween season that this episode you're listening to was recorded, but perfect for all times of the year because it's a fantastic short film. Jeff doesn't want to toot his own horn, so I will toot a horn for him. Go watch Upstairs. It's a great little short film that Jeff wrote and starred in with our friend Max Olmstead. Seriously, take the 10 minutes you need to go over there, give it a watch. I swear you won't be disappointed. And I guess since I'm doing a little promotion for him, I will do a quick little plug for myself. If you enjoyed hearing me talk about just all I've talked about today, if you enjoy hearing me babble about films, I do a monthly YouTube series called The 1 Minute Rewatch. You can search it on YouTube, 1 Minute Rewatch, TC DeWitt. You can also find it on the BitLife Show channel. And what I do is I try to review a film in 60 seconds or less. Occasionally I'll do extended episodes, which of recently, if you want a sneak peek about my feelings regarding one of our upcoming films in this library, my September episode of the 1 Minute Rewatch does delve into a little bit of Disney and gets you a little bit of Katzenberg history. So check out the 1 Minute Rewatch. I've done some other Disney stuff in the past. I did Snow White and the Huntsman. So yeah, check that out, or don't. It's up to you. With all that being said, thank you very much for listening, and I will be back next week with Jeff. This is enough battle. The music is playing me out. Hey, this right here, this was a podcast. I was the person talking, and this is a sign-off.
This has been a production of Ghost Hat Media, proud member of the Ghost Hat Network. Find them online at www.ghosthat.net.
I like the ending.